Yo, this is News at Noon. I'm your host, Jake Gobbins, and this is your co-host, Andrew Hobbins. That's Jake Gobbins with a J and Andrew Hobbins with an H. Say hi, Andrew.
Hi. Yes, he is right. I am Andrew Harbins, and this is News at Noon. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to go to our weatherman James for the weather.
That's right. We're going to go to a short break, and then we're going to go to our weatherman James. Welcome back to News at Noon. I'm your host, Jake Gobbins, and this is co-host Andrew Harbins. That's Jake Gobbins with a G and Andrew Harbins with an H. We're gonna go to our weatherman James now. Here is weatherman James.
Okay, thank you for having me. I'm the weatherman James, and this is the weather report. Okay, so there's going to be a couple sound waves coming in from the Pacific to the Pacific Northwest up in Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, like up north of Northern California. And then it's going to be dropped down to around the California coast, to around LA, San Diego area. And then it's going to work its way east from there. And then it's going to, when it gets around to Arizona and New Mexico, it's going to work its way north up until North and South Dakota. While that's happening, there's another one coming in from in the east, up in Toronto, Canada area, working its way down to Minnesota and Michigan. And then when it gets down to Missouri and Tennessee area, I'm too far over, in Tennessee area, it's gonna get bigger. By get bigger, I mean there's gonna be more sound waves because a big thing called sound, a big boom, or more sound as you call it, will come in. And then that will work its way down south to Florida and east up into Maine, New York, and North South Carolina area. And as that happens, right around when it gets to Tennessee and Missouri area, there's going to be a new one coming up, another one coming up from the Gulf of Mexico up into Texas and north from there. And by that time, the United States is going to be covered. You should be careful because of the high pitch, which is frequency, and the high amplitude. So it's going to be really loud at a really high pitch. So you won't be able to hear it, but you won't be able to see it because it's a thing, it's a wave, but it will destroy anything in its path. Once again, that is this area up in Northern California, up in Washington and Oregon area, because that is when the big boom, the first big sound boom, as you guys like to call it, happens. And then I went up in the Michigan, Minnesota area, up in that area, and another one down in Texas, and the biggest one is going to be in Tennessee and, Tennessee and Missouri area. That's going to be the most hit part. So please, there's going to be around tomorrow at noon, there is going to be evacuation order, because that's when they're going to hit the Pacific Northwest first. Anyway, so we're going to head over to our specialist. You might know from Teachings with Steven, who's going to talk about sound waves and who needs to be careful and who needs to be evacuated, because sound waves travel different speeds to different objects. Here is Steven.
I am Steven with Teachings with Steven, and I'm going to be talking about sound waves, especially the different speeds of sound waves. Wait, I have to grab my paper. Some notes on it. Okay, so sound waves, let's start with the definition of sound waves. Sound waves are longitudinal waves that travel through a medium like air or water. And when you think of sound, we think of how loud it is, amplitude, or the pitch, which is frequency. And a lot of people think that, like this diagram, no, that still says my teaching sign. A lot of people think the pitch is, the sound waves travel, the speed of the sound waves travel the same through all objects. But, contrary to that, they do not. So, since sound waves do involve the transfer of kinetic energy between adjacent molecules, the closer these molecules are to each other, the faster the speed travels. Therefore, the speed of the sound waves are faster through solids than liquids, and as through liquids than gas. Not all the time, most of the time. You find out later which ones, or one of them anyway. And then so that pretty much means solids are the fastest, then liquids, and then gas pretty much. Okay, whoa, this is actually a good chart behind me. This chart right here, where it shows the different, like the different speeds of sounds and the different temperatures and these speeds of sounds over in this area. So let's say water, which has at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, has a speed of sound at 343 meters per second. And water, let's say just water, those two main ones when people talk about the speed of sound, at a 20 degrees Celsius has a speed of 1,480 meters per second. And we're going to just pick one, let's say, it's not on this list, but diamonds, which have a really, really high molecule content, which that means is that they're really, really close together, really tight, they're really stiff, toughness or rigid, whatever you like to call it. So that pretty much means that the speed of sound through diamonds, which is really, really fast, is 12,000 meters per second. That's like really fast. Every second through diamonds, sound travels 12,000 meters. That's crazy. Anyway, so next one, whoa, helium has 900, I wrote it down here, 965 meters per second at 0 degrees Celsius. I cannot find anything on 20 degrees Celsius, but at 0 degrees Celsius it travels 965 meters per second. So even though it's lighter than air, it's more rigid, or more molecules closer together, so that makes it, well, faster. Okay, next one is not on here, but we're going to go on the low end, the slow speed, and that is rubber. Rubber is a really not as they're not as compact. They're actually less compact than water and air. So that's another example that shows that. Not one example that shows solids are sometimes slower than air, and then a gas and liquid. Every second it goes through 60 meters per second. That is the speed of sound through rubber. You can even get it in a car, especially a Tesla. It is pretty much in imperial units is 135 miles per hour. So you could get it in a car on flat salt plain or a flat lake bed. Okay, and then let's just pick a random middle one. Wood, good middle one, is more than, well, everyone's a diamond, so it's just going to be right in the middle, and that is at 3,850 meters per second. I have them all written down on a list, so I forget sometimes. So, let's give us a few examples. Let's pick diamonds. Let's say you live in a big diamond house. Well, we don't have examples online, so we just have a box with really thick walls. So if we're going to use the standard one through all of them, we're going to go a kilometer or a kilometer or whatever you like to call it. We're going to do that. We're going to do that, a kilometer. Whoever uses a kilometer as the thickness of the walls is crazy, especially if it's out of diamonds. One, who builds out of diamonds. Two, who builds a kilometer thick wall out of diamonds. Anyway, so here it is. Let's just start drawing with the stick man leaning against the wall like this. And they're just leaning up against the wall, just all the way back like that on the corner mile wall. How long does it take the speed sound when they enter? How long does it have for them to get off the wall, grab their things, and get out of, well, the country? Because the sound waves are coming. Well, how fast? 0.084 seconds? That is crazy fast. That's faster than what I could, well, think of. That's faster than a snap. That's faster than, well, not faster than the speed of sound through diamonds. It's the speed of sound through diamonds. So yeah, that is that. Okay, so that is this example. Show size. So as they enter, the sound waves are not animated because we're too cheap to get it animated. And it enters, and he has to jump off and pull. Well, I'm not showing that because I don't want to keep drawing more and more. And that is why, so he has to get out. Okay, let's do next one, water. People live underwater. So let's say you're in underwater and you're in the water swimming with a weed breather, like this guy right here, like this guy right here. Let me move off to this corner. Like this guy. He's all nice, he's all fresh, he's all nice, this weed breather. He's happy. Well, you can't tell because you can't see his face, but he's under it. And let's change to a model of a blue box. Okay, so the blue box, he's in the middle of this, and there's a kilometer. And how long does he have to get out of here? From the water enters the sound enters the water and he gets to there. Well, this is the second fastest thing on the list, and that is around 1,480 meters a second. So if you calculate it, that is 0.7 seconds. 0.7 seconds to get from here for the sound to get to there, which is really fast. It's still less than a second. So he has 0.7 seconds to get out of here. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the rubber that we were talking about. The slowest, well, not one of the slowest speed sound waves travel through. Okay, so what that means is, let's say you have a big house made out of rubber. Rubber, made out of rubber. This thing right here. This thing made out of this. Let's go back to the diamond model, but instead of having diamond written down here, let's have it written rubber down in this corner here, and also in this corner. Let's have it written rubber. Whoever builds a house out of rubber won, and whoever doesn't build a house a quarter mile thick. That's not a quarter mile, a kilometer thick. A kilometer thick. Like whoever built a house a kilometer thick. That's like almost. That's big as this warehouse we're in. Yes, we're filming in a warehouse. Get used to that. Okay, so, enters there, how long does thing think he has? He has the best time because he goes really slow through rubber. How much time does he have of relaxing on the wall here? This guy right here, how long does he have? How long? He has 17 seconds to grab his things and get out of that wall, go off that wall. 17 seconds! Well, about 17 seconds. He's all about, they're at 20 degrees Celsius at sea level. But about there, it changes at altitude and temperature. But about 17 seconds to get from there to there. Okay, now let's just say wood. Let's say you live inside of wood, a kilometer thick wall of wood. That's me banging on a wall you can't see because I just went off the camera. But that's me banging on a wall that's made out of wood. Let's say a wood shack, because people's houses don't made 100% out of wood. Or wood shack, which it is. Let's say that, and you're just leaning against the wall like always. Let's say you're leaning against the wall like always. Let's just change this, instead of saying rubber, let's put it at wood. So let's just put that at wood. And then you're leaning against the wall. How long do you think the person has? Is the second fastest thing on our list today? Yes. Let me look. He has 0.26 seconds to get from the sound to go from here, quarter mile through the wood to get to that person. So if he has 0.3 seconds, or she, they have 0.7 seconds to get 0.26 seconds to get off the wall, grab the thing, and bolt. Yes, yes he does. He has that much time. He has that much time. Okay, so let's say no, because people do live on the water, but a person who is not dumb enough to build a house out of rubber, that's pretty smart, but only for this occasion. It's actually pretty dumb because any other times. Let's say you're in a big field, like this field, like this guy is. No, there's no person like this bear is in. A big field with nothing around it. Nothing around it. If this is a bear, I haven't found the pictures yet. Nothing around it. Nothing around it. And there's a quarter mile, and he has a quarter mile to get to the boat in this corner, which is off the screen. So let's just turn into this grid again. There's a nice white background, and let's add a person in the middle. Let's have sound waves on that side, which is a quarter mile away from the person, and then a boat on that side, which is a quarter mile away from the person. He has 3 seconds, which is how fast a kilometer, not a quarter mile, kilometer. I keep saying quarter mile, it's a kilometer. It's a kilometer, Steven. Anyway, yes, he has 3 seconds. The sound waves will get to him in 3 seconds. So he has 6 seconds to get from here to there and out on his boat away before the sound waves catch him. They will catch him anyway, but you should always leave a day earlier. Okay, so that has been Teachings with Steven. Yes, Teachings with Steven. So back to James the Weatherman. Back to you, James.
Thank you for coming, Steven. Once again, please evacuate because it's going to be a disaster. Once again, let's get a little recap. It's going to come into the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, and it's going to work its way down south to the San Diego, LA area, and it's going to work its way east from there up until the the Arizona and New Mexico area, and it's going to work its way up to North and South Dakota from there. As that's happening, then it's going to come on from the Toronto area, work its way down south from there into Michigan and Minnesota, and when it gets there, it's going to work its way down south to Missouri to Tennessee. When it gets there, there's going to be another boom, as you guys like to call it, sound boom, and it will multiply. There'll be more sound waves in the area, and then it's going to work its way south down to Florida and Alabama and Georgia area, and well east to Maine, New York, and North and South Carolina and Virginia and West Virginia area. As that is happening, when it gets around the Tennessee area, it will another one will be working up north from Gulf of Mexico up through Texas, and you such as be careful in the Pacific Northwest, Texas, Michigan, and Minnesota, Missouri, Tennessee, and that's about it. Once again, this is the Weather Report with James the Weatherman, me. But thank you for having me. Back to the desk.
Oh no, you gotta get out and out of stuff. Whoa. Overreact much? Oh yeah, I overreacted.
Yeah. It's even in the script, and he still didn't really do a good job at it. He just kind of screamed at wide-eyed. Anyway, so we have some breaking news.
That is right. And that news is that in New York City there's a cat stuck in a tree. This has been News at Noon. And I am your host, Jake Garmins, and this is your co-host, Andrew Harbins. This has been News at Noon, and we'll see you again at 5 p.m. for News at 5. See ya. Anyway, so to recap, the sound waves involve the transfer of kinetic energy between adjacent molecules. Close to those molecules are to each other, the faster the sound travels. Therefore, the sound travels much faster through solids than through liquids, and liquids than through gas. So that pretty much means the stiffness, the toughness, or the rigidness, or whatever you like to call it. What that pretty much means is the closer the molecules are to each other, the more compact it is, the faster sound waves will travel through them. This has been the speed of sound through different objects. I hope you enjoyed. Wait. Why are you still here?
Sorry.
Go.
Sorry, I'll just...
You're not needed anymore.
Walk up, no. I'll vanish. I'll just poof out of my existence. Poof. Just fade. Just fade out of existence.
Just vanish already.
Okay! I'm going. Sheesh.
Anyway, wait. Oh, it says, bloopers. Guess I have bloopers now.
Okay, so that has been Teachings with Steven. Teachings with Steven. Bum. Yeah, I am not adding that.
I'm not adding that.
Okay. I'm not adding that. Okay, this is...